Hi, I'm Minotaur. Not to toot my own horn, but I think that I am a somewhat creative person. You can always argue, but I decided to use whatever creativity I do have to make a recruit rework idea in preparation of next season, where recruit is going to be getting his actual rework. Way back when Siege launched, you could pick which organization your recruit belonged to, and you'd get different loaded options to match. They removed it eventually, probably because they kept adding more organizations to the game. Interestingly enough, in somewhat recent lore, as recent as you can have when an event is 3 months apart, Rainbow has split into 4 squads, with 2 organizations on the side also playing a big role within the lore. The idea is simple. Rainbow takes a return to form, and the recruits take after their respective group. To add on to that and make recruit a bit more new player friendly, each organization will have a new gadget that they will give to their recruit. The gadget is less of a legit gadget, more of a half measure to get you used to the game. It's a bit easier to show some examples instead of just remaining hypothetical, so let's go over the squads and their gadgets. Before we start, we have 6 groups, so I'm going to divide them up for 3 for attack and 3 for defense. Because I want to allow 2 rainbow squads per team, Girez will be on attack and Nighthaven will be on defense. The very first squad on attack is going to be Red Hammer. Red Hammer is Rainbow's noisiest group, as most operators here have something that blows up. The group is captained by Thermite, and really isn't one for half measures. Obviously, our Red Hammer recruit role within the game is going to be getting new players used to the destruction within Siege. Our 2 options are either some sort of soft breach or hard breach. I think the best way to do this is to have regular soft breaches as utility, and maybe a mini Thermite for the main gadget. While it is boring, in fact it might actually be the most boring one here, we have to think about what we're trying to accomplish. It has to be as simple as we can get it, as not only is it for new players, but it's also just one option to take on recruit. We also don't want to be better than an actual operator, instead acting more of a training tool. Our second attack squad is going to be Wolfguard. Captained by Doc, Wolfguard is supposed to be the humanitarian squad, because that is a good basis of dividing your forces in a tactical sense. I mean, they'd be good at hostage situations, I guess. Regardless, gadgets within Wolfguard are commonly very passive and supportive. They can of course range from Doc's stim gun to Monty and his glorified spectator stand. Since Wolfguard is mainly about support, I thought we'd give him a shield. We want this recruit to be able to learn about traps and such while in the field, so as the shield comes within, say, 3 meters or something, it will automatically be pinged. New players will be able to see traps and such before they detonate in order to learn where these sorts of things may commonly lay. Anyone who shoots the shield will receive a ping similar to Alibi, so the shield is also great for spotting enemies. Our third attacker group is going to be the Girez Legion. They technically aren't part of Rainbow and are currently serving as the bad guys. We'll include them because Deimos is playable as well, and we need 3 squads for each without duplicates. We still don't know too much about the Girez Legion, but we do know that they're about getting the job done no matter the cost. Since we have destruction and support already covered, I think it's only fitting that the Girez recruit has some good offense. The Girez recruit is going to have around 40 rounds of armor-piercing ammo. Each bullet will deal more damage, and the destructive capability will go from similar to a normal weapon to similar to that of the fabled Deagle. Yeah, this one isn't very interesting. If you want to come up with something better, be my guest. It must be simple, weak, but not useless, and has to be offense related. Ghost Eyes is a bit of a silly name, but who am I to judge? It's a stealth group and deals a lot with intel, whether by denying it or supplying it. New player lobbies might not need much intel denial, so it'll give intel instead. A listening chip about half the size of a proximity alarm will be throwable anywhere you like. It will activate when player noise is generated nearby, like walking, reloading, equipping gadgets, etc. No noise will be generated, and the recruit will see an icon pop up signaling the device hears something. New players don't know callouts, so a marker will be pingable. The device can be spectated like a camera, but instead of seeing anything, audio bars will be shown instead. The gadget will supply intel while at least on the surface appearing weak, requiring teamwork from your peers. The gadget will also teach players about noise levels. Viper Strike may sound like a Pokemon's attack, but it's actually Rainbow's support squad. It's more versatile than the others, so to properly explain this, let's look at an example. If you want a really big hole, you take Thermite. Habana can make more holes and from range, but they're all smaller. You get overall less boom, but you get boom in more places. Blitz's shield doesn't fully extend like Monty's, and it's therefore less passive, but he has a flash thing to make up for it. So it's a general squad, and what does every defender need to know? Setup. No, we aren't going to be showing them where stuff goes, don't worry, we learned that lesson already. We just want something useful to have around sight that is a cheap knockoff of something we already have. How about some nice curtains that we can set up on our windows and doors? The curtain blocks all lines of sight, and things cannot be thrown through it. It can be walked through though, and it gives a sound cue. Both your team and the enemy can walk through it, and 3 melee hits will destroy the curtain. This will give newer players a sense of security in sight, just like Castle does, except your roamers aren't locked out. And the gadget isn't great because recruit. Lastly, we have Nighthaven, which exists to house operators that couldn't properly be slotted anywhere else. At least it feels that way. It's a private military organization that seemingly thinks rules are below them, but still does the right thing. We need a more attack-focused defender now, which suits Nighthaven. Zero consideration for anyone else but attack-focused. The answer is staring us down. Clearly, they received the fabled 1.5 times sight. Troll complete. Return to HQ. In reality, we're actually going to be giving them Blackbeard's rifle shield to teach them how to spot peek. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. To be honest, I had trouble coming up with anything, so I went and checked the comic and season trailer that had Nighthaven grunts to try and find inspiration. I didn't find much, aside from the fact that what I assume are NVDs seem to change color between the 2 pieces of media. It gave me an idea, that being that it could modify what you see, like Warden's glasses, except instead of flashbangs and smoke, you can see the enemy outline like glass. It helped new players to see and take gunfights easier, which is practically all I wanted. So to sum things up, the recruit rework I suggest is a sort of swappable gadget that is in general weak, but can help players see and experience different aspects of Siege. I am curious to see what does end up getting added though. We still have to wait over a month by the time this video releases, as I'm writing the script, it's still 2 months. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment your own rework ideas. Have a good day, and I hope to see you next time.